welcome to Diecast Restos. I'm Jason, and this week I'll be customising this Matchbox BMW M1. I will be paying homage to BMW's mid-engine sports car by recreating the very last of the breed to have competed at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. That car was the number 111 entry of MK Motorsport in the 1986 race, driven by Michael Krankenberg, Pascal Wittmer and Jean-Paul Lebert. This is that car in its checkered flag style Motorsport wheels sponsored livery. The ever-reliable Le Mans decals are the producers of this set of white decals, which are pretty difficult to see at the moment. I've also got this set of wheels from Diecast Details to emulate the covers on the real car. In footage from the race, you can see the M1 with rear covers throughout, but they were ditched from the front at some point. More on that shortly though, as we focus on the model itself first. The MB52 is a modification of an earlier Lesney casting. Lesney had introduced the 52E model in 1981. This was a silver-bodied recreation of the road-going car. It had a red interior with red louvres, a red plastic strip for the rear lights, and an opening bonnet which served as access to the radiators and serviceable parts on the real car. It also came adorned with black number 52 and side stripe tampos. This was made until Lesney's 1982 bankruptcy. For 1983, the casting was modified under the Universal Toys ownership to how my casting here now presents. It retained the red plastic strip for the taillights, which I nearly missed against the red paint. If I'd have left that in for the caustic soda paint strip, it would have resulted in a real mess. But with near disaster averted, we can proceed as normal. The first Universal Toys era release was painted in white. This had BMW Motorsport navy, blue and red stripe tampos covering the roof and bonnet, with a black number 52 also covering the hood. The previously opening bonnet was now cast shut. Along the sides were red BMW M1 tampos. The body had been modified to include wheel arch extensions, a front splitter and a large rear wing. The casting clearly now emulated the M1 Procar instead of the road car. The model changed colour to black for 1985. This had a red interior and louvre piece with red and white Pirelli tampos and a number 59 on the sides. It then changed to a yellow body for 1986, reverting back to black plastics. This had red, white and black number 11 tampos and Goodyear sponsorship. The version I have here spanned 1988 to 1990 with its blue, orange and white number 1 tampos on a red body. This would be the final mainline release, though it did get a glow up for the 1990 World Class collection. Painted in a dark yellow, this model had lots of extra trim detailing, including to the grille, louvres, window surrounds, door handles, badges and taillights. It also had a mirror finish window piece and multi-spoke wheels with Goodyear branded rubber tyres. By this time though, the casting had become a bit long in the tooth. The road car went out of production in 1981 after BMW had met their homologation quota, and the car had fallen out of favour in motorsport after the mid-80s. The M1 project had been initiated in the late 70s by BMW Motorsport division head Jochen Neerpasch. He demanded a mid-engine sports car that could take on the long-dominant Porsche in Group 5 racing. Series homologation rules stipulated that 400 road-going examples needed to be built. BMW had never built a mid-engine car before and weren't able to fulfill this quota alone, so they partnered with Lamborghini to develop the car's chassis, build prototypes and manufacture the car. Gianpaolo De Lara developed the tubular steel space frame, but Lamborghini's financial position quickly became bleak. BMW took full control of the project in April 1978 after 7 prototypes had been built. This delayed the project, and in that time, changes had been made to Group 5 rules, meaning that BMW would need to compete in Group 4 with the M1 instead. A group of former Lamborghini engineers had founded a company named Ital Engineering and offered to help complete the M1's design. The M1 was hand-built by BMW over 3 years between 1978 and 1981. Giorgetto Giugiaro designed the glass fibre body, taking inspiration from the 1972 Paul Bracq-designed BMW Turbo concept car. The M88 power plant in the M1 is a development on the DOHC version of the engine used in the 3-litre CSI. The straight 6 was bored out to 3,453cc and had 6 distinctive individual throttle bodies. In road-going spec, it produced 273 horsepower, and in Group 4 Procar spec, it turned out 464 horsepower. It was later turbocharged for Group 5 racing. Its displacement was reduced to 3.2 litres, but with its 1.4 turbo factor, it became eligible for the 4.5 litre class. These engines produced up to 900 horsepower. Steering was unassisted rack and pinion on the M1. It was given double wishbone suspension and had adjustable coil springs. The brakes were ventilated, and the road car had special distinctive Campagnolo alloy wheels. Inside, the car borrowed many parts from other BMW models. It did have air conditioning, a stereo and power windows, but the left-hand drive-only driver's seat was not adjustable. 453 production cars were built, with 399 road-going examples and 53 made for motorsport. In 1979, Jochen Neerpasch proposed the idea of a one-make championship. Due to the change in ruling I mentioned earlier, BMW now had to build 400 cars to meet Group 4 regulations before it could be homologated further for the Group 5 category. With development to Group 4 spec already underway, Neerpasch did not want to wait until production had reached the required figure in order to go racing. As the cars couldn't yet compete against other manufacturers elsewhere, he developed the Procar Championship, announcing it at the launch of the M1 ahead of a 1979 start. Races were planned to coincide with the middle of the Formula 1 season, when the championship was taking place at European venues. Races were held on Saturdays and would vary in length, but would last around 30 minutes. Formula 1 drivers were attracted to the Procar support race seats, with the fastest 5 drivers from Friday practice earning a spot with the BMW factory team. They were also guaranteed a top 5 grid position regardless of where they qualified. It would see a mix of F1 drivers competing through the season, though some drivers from teams who ran tyres other than Goodyear were barred from entering, while Ferrari and Renault drivers were not allowed to participate at the insistence of the teams. Then two-time F1 world champion Niki Lauda, who had a dismal season driving for Brabham, won the 1979 series. His 1979 Brabham teammate and future 3-time Formula 1 world champion Nelson Piquet won the 1980 Procar series. The BMW M1 achieved its homologation requirements in December that year, and with BMW announcing their planned partnership as an engine supplier for Brabham, they switched their focus to Formula 1. The Procar series was scrapped, and the cars were sold to customers for use in the World Sports Car Championship. This commenced from 1981. The M1 was classified as a Group B car. It took its first overall series win at that year's 1,000 kilometers of the Nürburgring, and it was entered into the 24 Hours of Le Mans for the first time. In 1983, M1s won their class in 5 of the 7 races that season, but missed out on the Grand Touring Trophy to Porsche by 2 points. M1s took a clean sweep of class races during 1984, including a privateer Group B class victory for Helmut Gall at that year's 24 Hours of Le Mans. BMW took the title again in Group B's final year in the World Sports Car Championship in 1985. Helmut Gall's entry again took class victory at Le Mans. And that brings us on to the car I'm recreating here, the swan song for the BMW M1. Michael Krankenberg's MK Motorsport engaged Helmut Gall to prepare the car for the 1986 24 Hours of Le Mans. It was to be the sole entry in the Group B GT class. Krankenberg, alongside Jean-Paul Lebert and Pascal Wittmer, qualified the M1 50th and last on the grid. The event was overshadowed by the death of Kramer Porsche driver Joe Gartner. The rear wheels of his 962 locked up after a transmission failure, sending him into the Armco at 160 miles per hour. His car broke through and hit a telephone pole before being thrust up into the trees. The car landed back on track, upside down, on fire, and with debris strewn 200 metres down the road. He was killed instantly. The field was led by pace cars for 2.5 hours before resuming. By this time, the BMW had jumped up to 20th position overall. However, with 90 minutes of the race remaining, Wittmer brought the car into the pits with the gearbox almost locked solid. With 20 minutes to go, Lebert took the ailing M1 out, crawling around the track in second gear in a desperate attempt to get it to the finish line. Unfortunately, the car's final lap time was too slow for it to be officially classified. It would have meant class victory and a finishing position of 21st place with 265 tours completed. But as you'll see in the closing shots of my video outro, the M1 was given a warm welcome home as it crossed the line, hazard lights flashing. That's why I chose to recreate this particular M1. Not only does it have an awesome livery, but it was the last of its breed. It closed the chapter on Group B circuit racing in its final competitive outing. What started in the late 70s as a challenge to Porsche ultimately ended in success, with some interesting stories along the way and an incredible legacy left behind. So I started off with a very scratched and play-worn BMW M1 by Matchbox. This casting serves as a very good basis to convert it into any of the Procar or World Sports Car Championship entries with minimal modifications required. What's more is that it enabled me to recreate an unsung hero car, the last of its kind and a lone ranger in the 1986 24 Hours of Le Mans. And here's how it turned out. This is a gorgeous livery that has been expertly recreated by Le Mans decals. It's the perfect way to pay homage to a homologation hero. I haven't had to do much to the casting in reality. There was a bit of grille and lighting detail needed, a few touches to the window piece, the same for the tail lights, and then I needed the custom wheels. After that, it was just a case of fitting all of those intricate decals. But since the quality was so good, it didn't feel like much of a chore. I recommend watching the few clips I have of this car in action at the 1986 24 Hours of Le Mans in the video outro. Telling these real stories is what interests me most about these projects. Give me your suggestions on racing stories and custom builds you'd like me to do and tell in the comments. Plus, let me know your thoughts on this one. Hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest from me, but all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.